What is going on, everybody? It is Frank the Tank, and welcome to week number 16 of Winter League. So, we've officially reached the conclusion of the first half of this league. I didn't even realize that. I also didn't realize that when I looked at the paper to see our lane assignments, it said position round. So that you guys know what that means. When you see that, that means you are at the end of your league. So, yeah, we're at the end of the first half, and after this week is over, we're on to the second half. And I could care less about, the team performance and all that, like where we're placed and all that. I know for a fact that we're in the bottom 10. But like I said, I don't really care about that because what I'm really focusing on is my own individual performance. So, I mean, it's what we're all here to see, right? So, yeah. The funny thing is that based off of last week's performance, I found that we hardly even moved any places. We were on lanes 11 and 12, I believe, and we moved a pair to the right. So we're going to be on 13 and 14. So not a big move there. But yeah, I will warn you guys before we get started on this video that there's going to be a lot of ball changes and adjustments and things like that. And the reason for that is because I haven't practiced at all this week for reasons I'll explain in a moment. But the reason I was using this, Friday league. I was using these 3 games as like a testing session, I guess you could say, because I do have a tournament on Sunday, a small 8-gamer tournament on Sunday, and I plan to bowl in it. And not having practiced at all this week, once again, I had to do something, so I figured I'd sacrifice this week of league as like a test session. So, yeah, I want to let you guys know that because I know a lot of you don't like seeing when I make a bunch of ball changes and a bunch of adjustments and all these crazy things that I do. So I just want to let you know that this week of league is a testing session. I'm going to be making a bunch of ball changes and adjustments and things like that. So that's what you're going to be seeing in this week of league. It's not that bad, but I just wanted to let you guys know of that. So let me explain why I haven't practiced at all this week once again. So last week I already explained to you guys, if you saw last week's video, I explained that whole story of why I didn't practice at all. I'm not going to get into that. But for this week, the reason I didn't go and practice at all was because of the weather being a factor, and 2, the kids are still out of school, winter break. So yeah, with that whole winter break thing, the kids being out of school, I know for a fact that the lanes do get packed real quickly. And yeah, I don't like bowling when the house is fully packed. It's I know it's kind of dumb, but trying to get a lane when it's winter break, it's pretty tough, especially out here. And also the weather, if any of you here live in California, then you'll know what I'm talking about with the weather. But any of you who are in another state, if you've watched the news, then you probably know. But for those of you who don't know, here in California, the weather's been a little bit extreme for the first time in a while. And actually longer than a while. It's been quite a long time since the weather's been this extreme. So it's been raining pretty hard and a lot, and there's been flooding a lot. Luckily, none in my area. Also, the wind has been blowing pretty hard, and a lot of trees have been falling on the road, so we've all had to be very, very careful with the driving and all that. And, where I go to bowl, you guys see in this in the videos where I go to bowl, it's like a 35 to 40-minute drive to get there, and I don't like driving in the rain, especially when it's raining really hard and a lot. If it's light rain, fine, but, since the weather's been extreme, that's kind of kept me from wanting to go bowling. So, yeah, haven't really gotten back to it. So hopefully when this all blows over and the kids are back in school and the weather gets better, I'll probably get back to my normal practicing. But other than that, yeah, this Friday's week of league, it was really the only chance I had to prepare for the tournament that I have coming this Sunday. So I just wanted to let you guys know of that. So I guess let's roll the clip and see what happened. Okay, everybody, here we go. Week number 16, the position round on lanes 13 and 14, and we're starting on the right lane. So, as you can see, I brought quite an array of bowling balls. Like I said, it was kind of a testing session, just to see what to prepare for a Sunday, to see what I was going to take, what I was not going to take, narrowing down the field, if you will. So. The first ball out of the bag that I wanted to test was a newly punched up Omega Crux. I had 60 by 4 by 30 put on it. I've been on a 60 by 4 by 30 craze, in case you haven't noticed. If you guys have seen, I had an IQ Tour punched up with 60 by 4 by 30, an Infinite Physics with 60 by 4 by 30, a Dark Code with 60 by 4 by 30, and now I have this Omega with 60 by 4 by 30. It's clearly becoming like a top layout for me now. I remember 60 by 5.5 by 60 used to be a favorite. I've been using it a lot less now. The pin above the ring finger, I can't remember what that, I think it was 70 by 4.5 by 55. I used to be on a craze with that. I've been really liking 60 by 4 by 30, and I've been wanting to test it out on different stuff because I've only ever tested it out on hustles. I tested it out on the Hustle Rat, the Hustle PBR, the Ink, of course, the wrap, I think, I don't even know if I said that already, but yeah, I wanted to go beyond that. I wanted to try it on high performance stuff, upper mid stuff, to see how it would work out, and I've been loving it. So I thought I'd dig out this Omega Crux from the closet and punch it up and see what we were working with. So we lined up on board 21, and here's what happened. So the shot was kind of a tad bit left of where I wanted it to be, and it ended up going high. However, from that, I felt like I knew I wasn't lined up on the right board. So I knew, okay, next time we'll try 21.5 the next time we get back on this right lane. And then also, because obviously the lanes were fresh, it served as an indicator for me that on the left lane I should probably get on 21.5 as well. And of course, I still, because I haven't practiced at all, I don't know how my spare game was going to be, so I played it safe and hooked at it. And that's probably what I'm going to have to do this Sunday. Alright, so making the move to 21.5 and not 21. And that one went high as well, but only because I threw it a little bit slower. So I knew now that I had to pick up the pace, otherwise, because I did not want to go high again. So there I went on 21.5, like I said I was going to do, fell off of it, but great shot. So I clearly found it. I will say, even though I've had 3 shots now with this Omega Crux, I wasn't really feeling the confidence, but at the same time, it's a little too early to call because you know what they say. I know Luke Rostow has said this before. You need to have at least a dozen games on a... If you punched up a brand new ball, you need to give it at least a dozen games to fully break it in. A couple of shots isn't going to cut it. So even though I've only thrown like 3 shots with this ball, I don't know. I don't know if I was really feeling the confidence with this one. Like it was good enough for me for it to have a spot in the bag for Sunday. And on that one, I just totally lost it at the bottom, and I fell off balance too. And played it safe, hooked at it, and I remained clean through 4 frames, I believe. So again, standing on 21.5 on the right. Threw it good, but it didn't get back. I mean, it did, but as you could see, it hit light, and it wasn't convincing. So after taking a couple of shots with that Omega Crux, I then felt that was enough of it, so I put it back in the bag, and then I picked up the Phase 2 with the 60 by 4 by 30 layout on it as well. Figured I'd give that a couple shots, because I don't believe that I tested this one out yet. So was going to give that a shot and see how this one would roll. Also, because of what I saw with that Omega Crux on the right lane, hitting light, I felt like maybe I needed something that would really grab at the lane more, and we all know how this Phase 2 is. It's perfection. So unfortunately, I lost it at the bottom and made myself push it outright, and I ended up leaving the washout. Well, you know what they say, if you leave it, you gotta clean it up. Just like that. Alright, so after what happened on the left lane, I told myself try not to do that when you get on this right lane, so stood on 22, felt like I threw it good, and I solved that, and I thought maybe I'm not standing on the right board, because the shot was good, it felt good off my hand, and just didn't work out in the end, and I ended up leaving a 7. And here's my lack of practice coming back to haunt me right here. Bye-bye 7, and we have our first open, I think. Okay, so when I looked up at the monitor, I realized, holy smokes, we're already on the 8th frame of the first game. Like, I gotta, you know, fast forward this thing. So I decided to put the phase 2 back in the bag after only just 2 throws, and I proceeded to get the trend 2 because I haven't picked up that ball in a while, and I wanted to see what I would get out of this one. And you know, I gotta say, this trend 2, it's interesting because for me personally, hybrid cover bowling balls are the type of bowling balls that I don't pick up till later. And this one is because of the cover that's on it and the, you know, the modifications to that piston core that they made compared to the original piston core that we see in the trend and the ProMotion. This one, as you can see, hooks way more. It's much stronger. And this is probably the only hybrid cover ball that I have that isn't meant for when the lanes are drying up. It's meant for, you know, when the lanes are still fresh. So yeah, this trend 2, it was looking pretty good, pretty convincing, but I didn't know for sure if I wanted it in the bag for Sunday. But, you know, this ball is probably the only hybrid cover ball I can think of that is good fresh out of the gate. That was lucky. Alright, we've already made it to the 10th frame. Unbelievable. Alright, so 10th frame, trend 2 yet again. Form wasn't that great, and somehow that held. That was more left than that should have been probably a Brooklyn, but the amount of hold that I had there, that was very, very lucky. Yeah, the trend 2, that's how I could best summarize it. Hybrid cover ball that you can use fresh out of the gate and not for when the lanes are drying up. I didn't think I'd ever see a hybrid cover ball that could, you know, do that sort of thing. Fantastic shot. I tell you, that thing has great power when it gets down there. But yeah, I mean, the only reason I say all that about the Trend 2 is because I do have an RST X3, and that ball, it's great for starting, you know, like when the lanes are fresh, and it, for some reason, I don't know what it is about the ball, but it is great for when the lanes are drying up too. I don't know what it is about it, but yeah, and then I don't know, I feel like there's another hybrid cover ball that I want to name that also can do that sort of thing. The Hustle USA can also be that kind of ball, that it's great on the fresh and it's also great for when the lanes dry out. So right here, as you can see, ball change to the zero gravity. And I struck out for 224. How about that? Yeah, I admit, making a ball change in the 10th frame when you've doubled already is kind of a dumb move, but you know, like I said, this is a testing session, and also after the Trend 2, my testing session was pretty much over, and I was going back to like my normal league arsenal, consisting of the zero gravity and the pitch black. So I was going to start, from this point onward, I was back to normal and the testing session was over. So yeah, the zero gravity was what I was going to use until I started losing it, and then I would probably finish it off with the pitch black, if that needed to happen. So yeah, started with the zero gravity, got an insane amount of hold there, don't know how, but it happened. Alright, so my game plan was pretty simple. I already knew what to do with this ball. Zero gravity on board 18 on the left and right lane. As the lanes were still fresh enough, as you could see, it was way too easy. This ball is definitely going to be in the bag on Sunday. Yeah, I'm thinking that this might be the ball that I might start off with on Sunday. I mean, look at that miss room. Whew. Pin action. Okay, guys, check this out, alright? I think I'm on 3 in a row right now, and this is the worst possible way to screw up your string of strikes. I couldn't believe that I had done this. Fell off and guttered it. But because I know this zero gravity from top to bottom, I knew exactly how to fix this. Turn around, walk away. I knew it. I knew it. So I kept myself clean, but still, the fact that I blew my chance at 4 in a row like that, God, that's so painful. So, God knows how many times I've fallen off balance, but, you know, those 3G shoes, man. I mean, I hate to be kind of negative about it, but, like, those 3G shoes, you know, they're unpredictable. You know, sometimes I'll slide a little bit extra and like lose my balance and hope to God that I don't foul. Sometimes I'll stick. It was tough. You know, there's a reason why you guys have not been seeing me wear these 3G shoes a lot. I just can't trust them. I mean, sometimes I get a good slide, sometimes I don't. But you know, it definitely was lingering through my mind throughout the night. Am I going to slip and fall and hurt myself? What's going to happen? All I could do was just, even though I was falling off balance, just try to lay the ball down where I wanted to and make sure it passes over the arrows where I wanted to. Alright, so on this shot right here, I didn't get the ball out right like I wanted it to. I got it like right on top of the 9 board, kind of the 8 board a little bit, and I knew what was going to happen once I saw that, and I just knew. I knew straight away. See what I mean? I was like afraid of falling over and falling into the lane or something like that. Alright, here we go back on the left. After that 8 spare on the right, falling off again. And I got lucky there. That was not a good hit. Alright, so on this shot right here, I noticed a little something. The shot wasn't good, but even though it wasn't a good shot, I still noticed something. So I got it on the 8-9 a little too early, and set it up to do that. And although that was a bad shot, like I said, down lane, I noticed that the ball kind of like just peeled to the left pretty quick. So I thought, okay, it's getting a little bit dry up there. I might have to make some changes. But check out this embarrassing mess. This is so terrible. I think that's the 5 too. Luckily nobody had their hand up. But I threw my pitch black down there and I ended up missing it. And would you believe it? This reminded me of, I think last week, remember when I told you guys how all I needed to do was just to cover the 1 pin that I had left and I ended up missing it? And it ended up costing us a point? Well, that was almost going to happen here. Luckily, this guy, he needed to convert this. This isn't a split because the head pin is there, but he needed to convert this in order to get the point for his team. And they had already beaten us in game 1. So I got 216 in this game too, and we still had the lead. But if he would have converted this, they would have gotten the other point on us. So we would have been down 2-0. And he didn't convert it, and we won by 2 pins. Talk about a close call. That was so embarrassing on my part. I couldn't believe that I had actually missed a 5-pin. Okay, I believe we're on game 3 now, and I decided on some changes after what happened in the 10th frame, and I'm not talking about that miss. So, as you can see there, I made the switch to the pitch black. It was time to bring it out because I didn't want to start making, you know, adjustments with the zero gravity and struggling to find where to line up. I figured it'd be a much safer bet to use the pitch black, knowing how it always bails me out, even when I go Brooklyn. So yeah, that shot got left off my hand. I knew it immediately. And because of the right lane, I hadn't tested it out with the zero gravity yet to see if the lane was changing. And after that shot, I thought I could still use the zero gravity on this left lane. So that was going to be the game plan. So yeah, that was going to be the game plan. Pitch black on the right for the rest of the night and zero gravity on the left lane until I start seeing something that I don't like. And I think this shot, I sent it pretty straight up the boards, which is not what I wanted. But luckily I had the hold there. I gotta tell you, I was feeling pretty nervous on this night because I was looking at various pairs, and I noticed that a lot of people were trying to, you know, beat my high score, you know, that 279 that I got. And luckily no one got it, so I get to keep my high score for a little bit longer. One thing's for sure is I definitely had a chance to get 700 on this night, but I knew for a fact that it wasn't going to be easy. I needed to get into like the 270s to do it, and that shot right there was pretty identical to the last one on the right lane. That one I was on the right lane, so I don't know. I'll tell you, the margin for error is unreal right now. All right, next shot here on the left. I'll tell you, I hate seeing this where I keep falling off. I gotta fix these 3G shoes. I don't know what is up with them. I don't know if it's the heel or the sole. I don't know. Well, that shot was definitely very terrible. It was left all the way through. I was worried I was gonna chop on that, but luckily I didn't. All right, back on the right with the pitch black, the ball that always bails me out. That was the shot I was looking for, but then I saw that, and I realized, okay, I gotta move to the left. Okay, so at this point, I decided I'd had enough of the zero gravity, and I put it back in the bag and decided I was gonna go with the pitch black on both the left and right lane. And I knew that this left lane wasn't as dry as the right lane, so I could line up on 12 here. And unfortunately here, I got it to the right a little too early, and I went through the nose, and I can tell because if you look, my intention when throwing this pitch black is to get it on that board. I don't know what that is. I want to say maybe that's the 6, possibly the 7, I don't know. But my intention is to get it there, more down here. Because if I get it there, then this is what ends up happening. Right through the nose. Thank God for the pitch black. It makes picking up the 3, 6, 9, 10 a lot easier. Alright, so here we are back on the right. And I was going to make that adjustment after what happened the last time I was on this right lane. So I made that move to 14, not knowing for sure if that was the right move. Got it left, turned around because I didn't even want to know. I looked around and saw that nothing was left, and I'm like, how am I getting this lucky? It's not right. But anyway, here we are on the left, finishing it off. There we go. I mean, that looked like it was kind of a little bit, just supposed to go high, but I don't know, man. The amount of times I got bailed out, it's just unbelievable. It's just... No, I don't know. Looking back at this now, I feel like this is the most undeserved 600 series right now. But here I went again. A lot better. That was the one I was kind of looking for. I mean, I didn't like the way it hit the when it got to the pocket. You know, you saw that deflection. Wasn't really convincing, but hey, 2 in the 10th. Why not? So I went for my last one. There it is. See, that's what should have happened right there. And I'm not going to lie, halfway through the game, I was pretty bummed out because I knew my chance at 700 was gone. Alright guys, so here we have our summary for week number 16, the position round. So, game 1, we surprisingly managed a 224, which I don't know how that happened considering I kept changing balls and testing stuff to see what, what was going to work for Sunday and what wasn't. And game 2, it should have been that's the one that came back to haunt me because I didn't realize it until after game 3 was finished that miss, that 5-pin miss, that's really what cost me the chance at 700. I hate that part. When you finish your games out and you go back and you realized if you'd have done this, then this would have been, the result would have been a lot higher. You know what I mean? So yeah, I looked back on it and I really beat myself up about that. Like that stupid 5-pin. That's such a simple pickup. That's first grade stuff, and I missed it, and that's really what cost me the chance at a 700 series. My first of this winter league, so that really hurt, but nothing I could do about it now, and there's always next week. So anyway, game 3 we managed to finish off with a 256, making off for a total of 696. So up from last week's series total, which was 628, and our series required to raise the average was 618, which I found to be really weird because last week's series required to raise average plus one was 643. Why did it go down so much? Really, really weird. But anyway, the pin total after week 16 is now 9,726. After 48 games played, my average is now 202.62, up from last week's average being 200.66. So, yay, we're moving on up. Yeah, my highest game is still the 279 from last week. And we now have a new high series. It's no longer the 685 from week 11. It is now the 696 that I have gotten right here in week number 16. So this is good. This is real good. That's week number 16. I'll see you guys on week number 17 and also that 8-gamer. I'll be sure to get you guys that soon. So I'm Frank the Tank. I'll see you guys soon.